And why were you asking me to do this? Well, I did it for about 3 years and didn't like it anymore. So I was at a meeting with Pat at Stanford, one of the many meetings that she would go to, and there was everyone there that had PhDs plus 2 or 3 PhDs, and they were talking educational stuff that was so high I didn't understand anything they were saying. But there was a dinner, and during the course of a dinner, Pat talked to my wife, and she told my wife, and I didn't know this until a couple days later. My wife said, you know, Pat Stelwagen told me that you're ready for your own school. I'm not ready for my own school. But Pat, you know, all day we could go. She was always saying, push the envelope. Step outside your comfort level. That's what I remember about Pat. Step outside of your comfort level. Push yourself further than you think you can. So I've carried that with me all my life. When I'm in a comfort area, well, I can do better. So now it's the turn of someone else to push out of your comfort level and have a few words.
See, these people start out as teachers in this district. I just think that's so great. And then move up.
Look how good we look too after all these years. So Pat, forgive me because this is a nasty story about you. And you know, Pat and I left the district in 2001, and I'd see her a lot. And I'm actually been in a book club with her for the past 6 months and saw her in June. Had no idea she was not going to be back at our next meeting, but she said one time over the course of this 9 years, she said, "So how are you doing, Pat?" She said, "You know, pretty good. I'm down to a 40-hour work week, you know." And this is retirement, but this is a story from when I was in the district and I was having a really tough time in a relationship in the district, and it was really very hard. And Pat knew it. You know, a lot of us used her as mother confessor. And you know, Lonnie mentioned a card. I wish I saved this card. It would have, I could have made money on it. But one time I got a card from Pat when I was really, really low, and it started out kind of hearts and flowers. You know, picture yourself, you know, walking down a path and seeing this person with whom you're having a struggle, and you decide to go for a swim, and then you open the card up, and it said, and you hold the person's head under the water. And it was so unlike what Pat would do on the outside, but it was just the message I needed to know that I was not alone in this situation. So thanks, Pat. Thanks for all the support.
Anyone else dare to come up?
Somewhat, yeah. I'm just going to keep this very simple. In my ICE story, I taught in Berryessa for 35 years, and now it's 37 with 70. And I always saw Pat everywhere. And from being a teacher all the way to assistant superintendent. And she was almost taken for granted because the expectation is that Pat will take care of everything. And as our district has moved forward and kind of passed us up in a way, because I go to all the schools, the elementaries and sub, and I see all these really young teachers. I was at Lakeview today and I was just looking and seeing, whoa, they are so young. And yet so confident. It's encouraging to see the confidence and be in their classrooms and see the new life that Berryessa has become. But I'm going to say that for us, Pat was the perfect role model of what Berryessa truly stands for. And that is the caring and the reaching out and the reaching all of us. And it's just, she's going to be very missed. Even when she's not here, and I knew she was at San Jose State, I thought, well, at least she's training other teachers to move higher in the district. And we know that where she is now, she's truly, we'll never forget her, and hopefully we'll see her again.
Yeah. Okay, all right now. But I laughed at Lonnie when she said, you know, and what are your educational goals? Oh, I got my credential. I thought that was it too, you know, so. But she always, no matter what you wanted to do, she'd say, oh, you did great at it, you're so good, and, you know, I'll encourage you, what can I do, so. One of the funniest stories I always think about her, of course, she always wore those little heels, you know, the little short heels, so you can always hear her coming, you know, a mile away. But when she was principal at Piedmont Middle, she said a parent had complained that her child was getting marked tardy, you know, coming to class, and so she went from the wood shop, was at Piedmont Middle, all the way out to the PE, and she says, you know, they really can't make it to the class on time. She was really cute. Anybody else like to say something? Oh, Dave. Moved up.
And that's why I wanted to, I didn't want to speak, but I realize now that even I'm allowed to speak. I'm teaching science at Stelwagen. This is my 12th year. I had only very brief, said, so when are you going to become an administrator? Well, I told her, she knew that I'd sort of done this kind of work before. I said, I'd done enough administrating for one lifetime. The second time I saw her, she was at Sierramont, trying to do something in an adjoining room. She comes into my room, borrows a lab coat, and then I sort of obviously let her have it. She goes in, starts working, a truly hands-on administrator. You know how we think in terms of staff development for this, that, and the other, it's always for teachers. And I felt immediately that you need staff development maybe for the administrators. She was positive. I never ever saw her stressed out. I'm sure she was stressed out like the rest of us. But she was always positive, and that kind of rolling your sleeves up, I was very impressed by that. And I, you know, immediately I realized, here's someone who is not only a great individual as a human person, but she actually was encouraging everybody. Even the newest members, she would really want to push them on, as others have said. So I truly do miss her. And the fact that so many people are here, that tells you that you know, it did touch many lives. So thank you, Pat, and thank you for you.
She was always visiting and checking and, you know, looking to see the kids' works. And teachers started coming to me and saying, why is she doing that? I mean, we just were not used to having a principal come in to see us. Sometimes we didn't even get to see him during any evaluation year. So I said, I mean, I think it's great because she knows what's going on. She knows what your classroom looks like. When parents call, and they would call, no matter who you were, they said, you know, somebody had a complaint about something. But she knew, oh no, I know the rules are posted up right over the board. Oh no, I know how she sits the kids. So she knew everything. It's really a rare and wonderful thing that the principals would come into the classroom and really take you know, an interest.
It's been an incredible time for me, but I knew Pat Stelwagen not just as a colleague, but she was also both of my daughters went to Piedmont when she was principal there. She had a great influence on them, and when I told them what had happened, they were very upset, but both of them went on to become teachers and are teachers now, and a lot of that's because of Pat. And Pat's also the one that made me come out of my comfort zone and being in the classroom and teaching, which I loved, but I didn't really think I could ever be teaching other teachers, and she was between her and Lonnie and Katie Coughlin. At that time, it was a wonderful time where people were really encouraged to go in and become trainers of other teachers, and she really was the one that, with these other ladies who opened up my life and made I love Berryessa. And Pat, thank you.
Wonderful tribute to Pat. Be well, Pat.